And here we have Spider-Man. His transformation is a little bit more involved as compared to Iron Man, but it's still fairly simple on the whole side. Um, First off, you want to do is fold back these propellers. Now it does tell you keep it this way, but it doesn't make a difference because we're going to turn it around. And worst of all, there is absolutely no way you can plug these guys in anywhere. So these guys are going to be floppy and they're going to be flopping around. Just a heads up. Alright, next thing we want to do is we want to take these caps for which the resemble the engines. Just take them this way and we can turn them around. Now don't worry if these pop off because they're just in there with the ball joint. So this thing is going to be popping off and coming out a lot anyway. Just the first time I transformed, they completely came out. And it actually made it a little bit simpler. Just take them out this way. It's got nothing to do with the transformation or anything. Second thing is the legs are pegged in over here. So what we want to do is just gently unpeg them like that. Just like that. Now before we go further, we straighten the legs out. And now, before we go any further, we want to open up the back half. This is nice how they've done it. They've got the legs that go up top and the hands that make the bottom of the alt mode. And then when we're going to robot mode, we literally switch the two. It's a lot like animated Blur and how they had the hands and the wings, the hands and the legs going all the way around, from different parts. Anyway, so with this guy, once you've opened up him completely, then we can bring the waist part down and he will come in there. And at the same time, his whole arms and shoulders are on this hinge, so we can physically turn it the whole way around to get it to the top. Alright, same thing on the other side. Let's just get him up here like that, and then we can bring the waist down there. So we've got the waist in the right place. The shoulders will line up nicely here, like that. And we can do the same thing on the other side, just like that. There we go. Okay, so now to finish off with the legs, what you can do is move them like this. And this is how I normally like to keep them. Because they do swivel over here. And we're like that. We've got these things which are on the side. Now a lot of people I have seen also can do it this way, so these kind of simulate the kneecaps, but I prefer to just keep them outside. It gives them a little bit more bulk. The feet are in here and you can just pull them out, and we just open them up like that to give him his feet. Same thing on the other side. There we go. So for me, I like to do him this way. You've got Spider-Man, he's looking bulky, he's looking good. Alright, next thing we want to do is we want to take these up. Now again, it's unfortunate, there's absolutely nothing holding them up. So, but the end part is going to look like this, so let's just keep it like this for now. The arms, we can do that. Now it tells you to stretch, and then you can bring the hands down, and this part just folds up. It's just kibble. Same thing on this side. Take them out. Put it down, this part folds up, and then all we have to do is just swivel the hand around like that and like that, and you've got his hands and upper body done. So far so good. Next thing we want to do is just take this out, and this opens up the cavity section here. Be a little bit careful because the way this works is it's like a clip mechanism, and there's a small rod that plugs in over here, if you can see it, and this thing just clips in. So if you try to open this too hard or go too far down, it will come off and it might even break. Here we go. We've got the head. We take out the head and we close this up, and finally we just take this out like that and put him on his back, just like that. And there we go. We have Spider-Man in his robot mode. So he doesn't look bad. I like his looks a lot more than the way Iron Man looks, just simply because he's got a little bulk to him. He's got a little bit more contour to him. He doesn't look like a box, which Iron Man did. The only problem I have with this guy are these propellers. They're supposed to be up here anyway, but unfortunately there's nothing there to peg him. So, you just move it and this thing is gonna plop around and it's never gonna stay up straight. It's going to go and rest against one of these arm things, which is very, very annoying. I wish they had some way of locking him in. Even this thing, there's absolutely nothing holding it in place. It's going to be falling around. Ugh. Anyway. So Spider-Man in his alt mode does look pretty good. He's got everything that you would expect. He's got the red, you've got the blue, you've got the Spider-Man logos, and you've got the little grid fashion all over the body. So it's good amount of detail, good amount of things. He also, because he is a transformer, the mech mode has got some kind of robotics. He does look like he is a robot. He doesn't have just a normal head coming out. And, it looks okay. I mean, okay, I totally get it. He's supposed to be cybernetic, not a typical human now with superpowers. So, no, I can forgive that. I don't mind that. Articulation-wise, this guy is good. This thing is on a ball joint on the shoulder over here, so he will go all the way around. 360. The knees do bend a little bit, and it's mainly for the transformation, so he does go pretty high, which is good. And then his legs, there's nothing blocking him, and he's on a ball joint. So his hips will go quite far, front and back. They will not go that far out sideways though. There's nothing rotation over here, and there's no rotation on his feet. So overall it's okay. Hand-wise, he's got the same thing as Iron Man. He can only go about 90 degrees, just under 90 degrees, because it gets blocked in over there. Otherwise, it's okay. So even though his articulation is pretty good, you're not going to get him into any major poses. The biggest problem is that even though he has more articulation than Iron Man and a little bit more balance, there's no rotation on his knee joints, so they're not going to go. The best thing you can do is move it from the waist, and then you get a little bit more. But the trouble is that because of the whole articulation thing on the knees and on the hips, you're not going to get poses out of this guy. I mean, this is probably the best you're going to get. And I have a feeling that the way that they've designed these guys is to be displayed either like this as mech modes, just standing there, but mostly to be combined together as a Garwalk mode or the Super Bomber mode. So this is probably why they've done it this way. I mean, forget doing any kind of major poses with these guys. It's just not gonna work. The mech modes themselves do look pretty good. I've got to give you that. They don't look bad at all. But forget doing anything more than making him stand just like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is going to take these guys from their robot modes to their heavy assault mode. This is the almost halfway transformation from the combination mode of the Super Bomber mode. I've just done it now for the first time, and it looks okay. It's not exactly the best modes in the world, but it is a decent combination mode. And yeah, it is a very, very cheap copy of the Garwalk mode from the Macro series. So let's get started. The first thing you have to do is take Iron Man back to his alt mode, and I've already done that. So to save a little bit of time. And the interesting thing is what we do with Spider-Man. Let's see. First thing we want to do is open up his back piece and put his head away. We won't need that. And then we take his helmet part and do it like this. The next thing we want to do is just put the propellers down and literally just bend him at the waist, leaving the back part open, because that is where Iron Man is going to connect to him. Yes, I am not joking, and no, I am not going to make any jokes about that. So anyway, basically what happens is Iron Man over here has this little gap over there. Right? This is Spider-Man. What Iron Man is going to do is going to come and attach to him from this side. So he's going to come up and he's going to join in. Oop, I have forgotten to do this one thing. The feet themselves are not going to be strong enough to support the double weight. So what you need to do is fold this up like that, and the feet actually become heel spurs. And the front part of the feet, you take these parts down. And I like how this looks. Maybe it's got a very much of a Gundam effect with the pistons coming out and everything. These aren't articulated, they don't go in as such. But you know, it's a very, very nice effect. So again, we have Spider-Man bending over backwards, and then we want to put this part down, because what's going to happen is that once Iron Man joins in, then this part is going to go and cover him up. Can't believe I'm saying this. Alright, so now Iron Man has this peg, if you can see it. This is what's going to go in here. Now, I might have to do this off camera if it doesn't work, but we just line them up. There we go. And then once he's in there, we cover it up like that. So here we have, you could say, Iron Man and Spider-Man in their heavy assault mode. And there you go. Now again, it's not one of the best modes, like I told you before, and they do have weight issues, because the trouble is, even though this guy is got extra feet, just the fact that you cannot lock these bloody feet into place, when it gets too heavy, these just start bending up, you know, and it's gonna fall over. So unfortunately, you can't really display it for long periods in this way. And it doesn't exactly look like anything in this way either. You just, you know, there's the biggest problem with these guys, there's nothing holding them in place. You need to start pegging. I mean, this whole Iron Man is pegged into Spider-Man on that one little tiny thing there. They needed to be one more peg over here so it's a secure connection. You know, I mean, this thing does cover it up, but it doesn't exactly stop it from falling all over the place. See? Okay, so I've got this guy. He's in Gerwalk mode, and as you can tell, he's okay. You know, you are going to have major balance issues. This guy's not going to be the best thing to stand, not for a long period of time. Otherwise, it's okay. You don't really have any major firepower, any guns or anything. You've got literally Spider-Man bending over and the alt mode of Iron Man right on top of him. That's about it. Alright. So finally, to get these guys into their main mode, which is the Super Bomber mode, you need to get these guys into their alt modes. So we take these guys. Again, we take Iron Man off to the side for now. What we do is start off with this guy. And it's actually a fairly easy transformation to combine these guys once they're together. Again, the first thing we're going to do is just kind of bend these so they're kind of out of the way and facing to the front. We want to take this guy's head and put it down like that, and this leaves this hole back open to where Iron Man's gonna join. We then take Iron Man, and he doesn't really have much of a change. The main thing that we are going to do is open up his wings to reveal a whole bunch of silver inside. And yeah, and we do that on both sides, just like that. So we have pretty much Iron Man with his wings open. And what's gonna happen is that again we're going to use the same peg over here, and we're gonna join him together with Spider-Man on the same hole. Now what I've also realized is that because of the bulk of Spider-Man and Iron Man over in this section, that this peg doesn't go all the way inside the hole. It's about only halfway, which also makes the connection very insecure. Alright, so once we have them connected, we bring Spider-Man's head or cap back on like that, so he looks like that. Finally, we need to go to the bottom, and all we do is shift his leg from that position to that position. And that's it. And this is the Super Bomber mode of Iron Man and Spider-Man. Yeah, you know, it does look alright. You know, honestly speaking, he does look like a combination. He does have all the elements of a combination putting together. It does look like a lot of firepower on this side. You've got these things which could easily fire missiles. You've got the missiles themselves that come out. You've got bazooka type things at the bottom over here. even these propeller blades have got the white thing, so they look like they could fire out a bunch of heavy armor as well. So here we go. These are all the 6 different modes that come or are promised by these guys. These guys are, they're fun. I like Marvel. I've grown up with Transformers ever since I was a kid, so I was looking forward to this, and I'm very happy I got this one in the end because, this mode is nice. I like the individual robot modes, the individual alt modes. These guys are nice. The Gerwalk mode is not mine. I don't like that at all. And even this mode is, I don't know. It's half and half. Sometimes I like it, sometimes it just looks weird. But I normally, whenever I display them out, I display them as a robot modes. Normally, Spider-Man is robot mode and Iron Man is the alt mode. This is how I normally do it. And so overall, that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I will see you guys at the next one.